Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Chips 2017. So Chips is the new film that just came out. It's based on the old California Highway Patrol television show, which was out in, I believe, the 70s, maybe the 80s. I did watch Chips when I was very, very young. I remember it very fondly. It was, John and Punch. They were motorcycle police officers, and they were friends, and they were, it was an action show, an action cop show, right? So it was pretty interesting. So the reason why I went to see this movie is I remember the old name, but when they said that this was a rated R film, I knew this was going to be very different from the Chips that I remember. By the way, this is all spoiler free. So I remember it was very, the show was not a rated R show. So I very much enjoyed this film. This is a 4 out of 5 star movie. It is a full-on rated R film. I think they should have went PG-13. By the way, this movie did horrible at the box office. It made $7 million on opening weekend. And so, I really feel like if Hollywood had taken this PG-13, they would have doubled or tripled that amount, which is good, which would have been better. So that was one of my few complaints with the film. I really like the film a lot. So one, this film is packed with really cool actors and actresses. It's extremely well acted. I think the body of actors and actresses they put into the film is really solid, and there's a lot of fun people in the movie. So the people I really enjoyed seeing, I'm a huge fan of Michael Pena. I think he's always done a good job. I really enjoyed him in The Martian. I really enjoyed him in what else? He was Ant-Man. He was fantastic. One of the best things in Ant-Man was Michael Pena. I think he's a really, really talented actor, and he does a fantastic job here as playing Punch. Playing John, the other police officer, is Dax Shepard. I'm a big fan of Dax Shepard from Parenthood. Kind of a strange place to see. Also, he has a movie called Hit and Run. If you have not seen Hit and Run, it is absolutely brilliant. It's a great, great film. It's got the guy who voices Rocket Raccoon, and it's really a solid film. And this had a lot of the same beats. Had a lot of action, had a really high respect and appreciation for motor vehicles. So I do want to talk about the actors and actresses. Kristen Bell, she is great in this movie. She's in this movie very, very little. Okay, but one of the things in this film, she's in there, and one of the reasons why I wanted to see her in the movie was I am an absolutely massive fan of Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars is a fantastic show. Another content out there that if you are not familiar with that, that is so Veronica Mars is modern Nancy Drew. Really, really tight show. Just really solid television show. Great mystery show. Great female-led protagonist show. Just a lot of talent on that show. Really good writing. Veronica Mars is one of my absolute favorite television shows, and I've been a fan of Kristen Bell ever since. So Kristen Bell's in this, and her work is really eclectic. So you have Veronica Mars, which is a classic. You have Frozen is in there. You have The Good Place. She's on a new television show called The Good Place. One of the things interesting too is it seems like both Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, one of the things I really appreciate about them as actors and actresses is they live across the line. So they're doing movies, and they're also doing television. Now, the failure of Chips at the box office points to that maybe you can't actually mix them. Maybe you really need to decide which one you're going to do. All the major people in this. By the way, Vincent D'Onofrio's in this movie. Really enjoyed him in Daredevil. There's just a huge number of awesome talent in this film. and it is really worth seeing. If you're looking for, just understand it is a rated R film. It was really solid. Now, I talked about the actors and actresses I liked in the movie. There's actually even more than that. There's another guy from Veronica Mars, kind of plays the Scooby-Doo type guy in Veronica Mars. I cannot remember that actor's name right now, but it was really nice to see him in this movie. You got the idea that, like, Kristen Bell was like, hey, can you hire my old friend Veronica Mars? He needs some roles. But he was good in this. I enjoy seeing that guy every time he shows up. Same dude showed up on Two Broke Girls, another show I really enjoy. But there's just a lot of great talented actors and actresses in this. And also, you really get the idea when you watch this movie that everybody on the movie really had a good time, really enjoyed making it. Like, I don't want to say they didn't take it seriously, but it really looked like this was a fun endeavor. Excuse me. And I really like that. I like that, the spirit of this. That's another thing is I absolutely loved the scale of this movie. Like, so, I really dig comic book movies, and I really dig sci-fi movies. But when you're watching those movies, it's all like, hey, the world's going to end. There's a spaceship coming. Let's have a laser battle. Oh my gosh, there's a tank. The scale is so epic and so big. I really liked the smaller scale of this film. It was a comfortable film. It was a really funny film. It was, it's weird applying the term friendly to the film, but it was just a really good film. I really, really enjoyed Chips 2017. Now, one of the things I just wanted to talk about the story, I'm not going to give any spoilers here. One of the things I also really liked about this movie was what is this movie about? Well, actually, it's not really about Chips. It's not about California Highway Patrol at all. There is a mystery in the film, and the mystery is interesting, and it keeps you guessing. But I think that this movie is really about, absolutely about motorcycles. That's really what this film is about. So you get to see John and Ponch on those old school, California Highway Patrol motorcycles, those big clunky ones. And when you see it, you're like, yeah, I wonder how we really watched, that back in the 70s and 80s. You're like, how could they really chase anybody on these things? They're so big and slow. But it was really interesting to see, and it was fun. And once they got into the film, one of the things they did was they made it so that John's character is an X Games competitor, and that he was like really into motocross, right? And that's what they say is essentially he only makes it onto the force because he absolutely is insanely good on a motorcycle. He can ride like crazy. And so that's what this movie turns into. It turns into motorcycle chase scene after motorcycle chase scene, all of which are exceptionally well done. Really, really solid. So one of the things, too, is I am a big fan of motorcycles. I've never owned a motorcycle. It's always been on my list of things to do. And, that's a whole nother story. But I've always wanted to know more about them, and it's a subject I'm really interested in. And so I know enough to know, like, the different styles. I know the difference between... One of the things I thought was really interesting in this film, so when it comes to motorcycles, there's really three types, right? You have American bikes, which are dominated by Harley Davidson. You have Japanese bikes, which you have Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, major brands, a lot of really super cool, racer type bikes right in there. But then you also have European bikes, right? Now the hotness in European bikes, in my opinion, is Ducati, and Ducati was all over this film, right? So that is the hotness in this film when it comes to motorcycles. It's all about Ducati bikes, and so really this movie is about seeing super agile, super fast Ducati bikes used in chases, making jumps, and it really has some really awesome motorcycle scenes. So really, I would suggest go and see this if you like just a good comedy film. If you like action movies, it's a great action movie. And then the other thing is buddy films, right? This is definitely a buddy cop movie. And it's a great buddy cop movie, and that is the one and only capture of the original Chips series, right? Is John and Punch were friends. At the end of the day, they were genuinely buddies. They were genuinely friends. And I thought that was really well portrayed in this movie. The journey to get there was good. Another thing that was really excellent in this film is, and this isn't my jam, but I know it might be some people's jam out there, is it really looks at psychology in a very deep way, and also therapy. It was very clear that whoever wrote this movie is really into therapy. And I think therapy is a big thing in California. Like, they're really into just being therapeutic and like actually going to therapy and sitting down with people and having somebody talk at you and then you talk at them. And so if you're interested in that, there's a lot of that in this film. So, and they present it in a super funny like way where it doesn't come off as unnecessary or why is this in here? It comes off as this is part of somebody's character. And so, like just terms like closure and all these, this movie is a really, it's a gumbo. It's a nice mix of some really interesting topics and specific elements that are mixed in to make this a good movie. Really, really liked it a lot. And again, it is just a dead-on, really, really cool motorcycle action movie. If you like motorcycles, if you like buddy cop movies, if you like funny films, if you like action films, this is a good film. Take care, everybody.